Welcome to today's mentor meetup. We have two amazing guests joining us from Serling Bank today. Of course, you already know that Serling Bank is the best bank. You already know that. I'm not only saying it because I work there. I'm saying it because I've experienced why they're the best bank. And if you give Serling Bank a shot, you are going to come and testify. So let me stop the advertisement. Let's come into our program. You can already see their pictures here. So we have Oluwaseun and we have Sherifat. Oluwaseun is a relationship manager and in commercial banking, and Sherifat is a business executive. So let me quickly run us through the grind because some people here are not members of the grind. So let's run you through what the grind does. The grind is an initiative by EduBank and Vertical. EduBank and Vertical are products of Serling Bank. EduBank helps with education financing, while Vertical helps you to scale for more. Scaling for more in terms of taking courses, taking certifications that help you upskill and provide you with in-demand skills. And this initiative is a new initiative. It lasts for just 6 months. It's a 6-month training, and we're in Unilag now, and we're hoping to go to UI, Covenant, Babcock, all universities across Nigeria as time goes by. Okay, so let's do a brief. Oh, sorry, I forgot to introduce my amazing cafe one, which is where I actually work. So Cafe One is the best coffee shop in the world. I said it's the best coffee shop in the world. If you doubt me, there's evidence. Just go and buy 1 cup of caramel macchiato. If you don't like it, I'll give you your money back. So I'll give you your money back. We have the best coffee in the world, and we also have a co-working space, which is here. So people that work remotely, work hybrid, or people that just want to work out of an office, you are going to find a home in Cafe One. We have different plans to accommodate students, to accommodate especially Serling Bank account holders, and to accommodate everybody, every member of the public. Let's introduce our guests now. Okay, so ladies first. I'll start with Sherifat. This first slide is a bit daunting. So Sherifat has over 2 decades in banking. I'm sorry, I have to ask. You guys really, are you up to 2 decades old? I have to ask, I'm tempted because she has experience of up to 2 decades. Wow, that's interesting. And she doesn't even look like she's... It's good. It's going to help me to age in the right way. She leads the commercial banking Lagos Island region, where she blends strategic insights with operational excellence to deliver exceptional value to clients. Her expertise spans credit structuring, international trade, and business development across key sectors, including manufacturing, agriculture, and FMCG. A proven track record of exceeding targets is reflected in her team's consistent achievement of over 100% profitability for 3 consecutive years. Her approach balances robust risk management with revenue optimization while maintaining unwavering commitment to service excellence. She finds fulfillment in creating transformative value that guides businesses towards sustainable growth and profitability. This passion drives her dedication to reshaping business trajectories through strategic financial solutions. Amazing. Sherifat, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your last name. Ikhazs-Yakubu, Business Executive, Commercial Banking. Please, a round of applause for Sherifat. And for Oluwaseun Omoni Awofisayo. He is a seasoned business leader with nearly 2 decades of experience in commercial banking and strategic business management. His expertise spans commercial banking, relationship management, financial analysis, and strategic planning, and a growing passion for digital product management. Known for his innovative approach and deep understanding of client needs, Oluwaseun has a proven track record in driving revenue growth, expanding key accounts, and implementing strategic solutions that enhance customer engagement and service delivery. He has held various leadership roles at Serling Bank Limited, where he successfully increased profitability, reduced non-performing loans, and grew bank branch portfolios. Oluwaseun holds management and Oluwaseun holds an MBA, from Nextford University with a focus on project or product management and agile practices, and a bachelor's degree in philosophy from the University of Ibadan. He is certified in professional Scrum product ownership and agile methodology. With a passion for cross-functional collaboration and leadership, Oluwaseun is committed to driving innovative solutions and delivering impactful results. Please, a round of applause for Oluwaseun. Honestly, when you meet people that have so much experience and have put in so much years into stuff, you always want to hear what their story is. What have they been doing those 20 years? Can they possibly tell us in less than how many minutes, this is what I've been doing for the past 20 years so that we can optimize? I don't think they can totally tell us every single detail in the past 20 years, but I'm sure that they can share a bit of their story that will be relatable to students here and to people that are just looking to grow and upskill and develop themselves. So I'll start with Sherifat and just ask her. We've read your citation, but we want to know how exactly did Sherifat start? Even in uni, how did you begin? What was your goal? And how do you work to achieve your goal even up till today?
Okay, thank you very much. So I think for me, when I was in university, if you had told me I was going to work in a bank, I would have said, no, of course not. Why would I want to work in a bank? Because I read theatre arts and I loved theatre arts. But, okay. So I have a kindred spirit there. So I read theatre arts, and when I left school after youth service, the opportunity came. The normal, you go for tests and they call you for interviews and all of that. So I scaled through all of those steps, and then it was Now Bank. So I joined Now Bank, and for me, it was just going to be a short stint. I was actually going to do it to please my parents, because show them I can have a regular 9-to-5 job. So I started off as customer service, and for the first month, I fell in love with it. I liked the fact that customers would come in with their problems and I would solve them, and I would just have that sense of purpose and fulfillment that I was able to add value to someone's life. So I had more than maybe 5, can't remember how many years. I did most of my foreign banking in operations, so customer service, funds transfer, and all of that. Then, so we used to have, how it is in banking so then transfers were not so much of a thing. So customers would cut drafts, managers' checks, and in the name of their beneficiaries, give those beneficiaries to go and pay into their own banks. So then when I was in funds transfer, I realized there was this particular customer that kept coming to take out drafts, and that would mean that he was depleting his account balance. So I would go and meet the relationship managers then and say, see, this guy is taking money out too. What is the problem? Why is he doing that? When he's even taking money out too, this person that he's paying, why don't we open an account for him? So that was when someone in one of the RMs, the relationship managers, told my branch manager that this girl is wasting her time in operations. Let's bring her to marketing. And they told me, I was like, hi, my village people, marketing. Where will I get money from? Who do I know? I was so sad that I just had it in mind that this branch manager just wanted to destroy my life. But eventually, I spoke with a lot of people that had risen through the ranks in marketing. And he said, it's not that tough, just give it a shot. So I moved from operations and I went into marketing. Then when I started marketing, I realized that really what we do on a day-to-day basis is marketing. Not even actively selling products. You want to convince your dad, for instance, that you need 10,000 naira to go to lunch with some of your friends. You have to sell that idea to him. You are marketing that idea to him to get that money from him. you want to tell your friend to loan you a pair of sneakers. You are selling a vision to her so that she would. So I realized it was like what we do on a day-to-day basis. And they'll tell you in marketing, start from your circle, start from people you know. So your family members, your friends, your cousins, whatever, just your inner circle, your tribe. So that was how I started. Then I was sort of like shadowing someone, like a senior person. Then he left. They moved into another branch. And I was like, so this is actually the end. We are going to just see that this is like the worst thing to ever happen to me. Then I realized that the more work I put into it, the value I got just gave me that sense of pride that this is what you have done. You can imagine a startup coming to you telling you he needs 10 million naira to start up his business, and you put the credit together, you give him 10 million naira. You can actually see the value that 10 million naira is bringing to his life. You can see the impact it's having along the value chain of that business. So every time I did that, I just grew. I still love it. I just grow to love it. So I guess I'm at the point now where I'm trying to replicate that love in other people, have them understand that marketing is not as bad. It's not bad at all, actually. If you look at it, it's what we do on a day-to-day basis. So that was how I transitioned from acting to marketing to operations marketing, and here I am today.
A round of applause is not that's an interesting. I feel like that's something that we're going to talk about. We're going to share more about how, honestly, when you start working in corporate, you need to be as fluid as possible because many gigs can come, right? Gig worker, many gigs can come, and it might be that thing that you hate that will be your stepping stone to a promotion or leading a new product or something. So it's always great to keep your mind open to every single opportunity that comes to you. Don't say, "Oh, I don't like marketing. Marketing is too hard." The most common one is it that I will now go under this one and be telling everybody now open account, now open account. It's not, that's not what marketing always is, right? So once any opportunity comes to you, it's best to always keep your mind open, and that can really be the stepping stone to greatness. Let's hear from Oluwaseun now. How did you begin? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you also study theater?
So for me, just like Sherifat, we had the same origin story. I studied philosophy in the University of Ibadan as well. So coming outside school, yes, regular tests. Yes, I was able to jump through all the hurdles of bank interviews. And yes, I went through the training school. And unlike Sherifat, who was supposedly, posted to the safe ground of operations, I was posted straight to marketing. And I remember telling my mom that, I've been posted to marketing. She was like, just go and resign. I've heard a lot of stories about, what it takes to be in marketing in bank. But I was like, no, I don't think it's going to be that difficult for me. I really wasn't sure how I was going to, board in marketing, but I just had that can-do spirit, so to speak, about it. Because for me, studying philosophy, I knew it was a function of being able to break things down to their simplest form. I know that, okay, from there, I'll be able to, find my way around. And during the course of my career, one thing I'm grateful for basically is that through marketing, I've been able to understand that, yes, it's about providing solutions. That is what we do. We provide solutions. So it's not just about hitting those targets, asking people to bring money. You are telling them, you know what, having a relationship with me, these are the things that we can do for you. We listen to them, which is another thing that's actually helped me segue into digital product management, because, this is another platform at which we can actually help customers. That is one simple thing I would want anyone here to take away from. It's about providing solutions all the way. That is what we do as individuals. That's what we do as a division. That's what we do as a bank, providing solutions. Yeah. That's basically it.
A round of applause for Oluwaseun.
Thank you
so much.
Yeah.
So we've heard and we've learned from Oluwaseun that at every point you have to offer value.
Yes.
It's beyond just doing. You can be working, right? You can be working hard, but smart work is where you drive value from. right? Always make sure that anything you are doing, you are providing value. There's always something somebody can touch and say, oh, because of this, that I have this, there is value, right? So let's go straight into today's topic. We've heard their citation, we've heard from them how they progress in work, and we know that they are the perfect fit for this topic today. So let me give us a little, because this is a new thing. Like I remember how I said in the beginning that there are so many things that exist now that didn't exist last year, that didn't exist 2 years ago. Although this is not very new, but as you go into the workforce, things that are relevant to you become in your face, right? So it's sort of new to you at least. It may not be new to the world, but to you that is relevant to now, it's new to you. So we're talking about entrepreneurship in the age of gig workers. Um, I want to assume that everybody understands the entrepreneurship journey. I know that a lot of students, a lot of young people run one business or the other. Everybody's a CEO on Instagram or TikTok selling one thing or the other, which is great because it shows that you have drive, you want to make a living, you want to do something for yourself. It's great. And we also have gig workers. Gig workers are pretty much people that freelance. Let's call it freelancing. So you take a gig here, you take a gig there. You're not talking about full employment. It's maybe I'll call it a contract, I'll call it freelancing, right? So we're trying to see what is the nexus between entrepreneurship and gig workers. So now that we're facing an economy that has a lot of gig workers, what is now the nexus? What is the balance between entrepreneurship and gig workers? So behind the camera, Sherifat, Oluwaseun, and I we've talked and talked and talked about this topic, and now we're excited to share everything that we had spoken about with you. So let me throw the first question to Oluwaseun this time.
Okay.
So in this economy, right, do you think the economy is responsible for the growth of gig workers or a gig economy?
So I'll look at it this way. Yes, the economy is actually responsible for what we have, the rise of gig workers. That's because at a certain level, each and every one of us want a feeling of flexibility. We also want a situation whereby we're independent on our own. So you have a situation whereby you have people who are in paid employment, work within the corporate organization. They still want to have that sense of feeling of owning their own thing, which is not bad at all. Because there's a need for you to want to drive your passion based on probably when you left school. You probably left school saying, okay, I want to go into acting, just like Sherifat started. But at the end of the day, you end up in the bank and you just, you know what, probably I could come up with a production company that could do 1 or 2 events. Yes, you could have it as a gig. There's really nothing bad about it because it's still a passion that you have growing inside of you that you could pursue over time. Also, having a gig could be a situation whereby you know that, okay, I have some certain financial needs that I need to meet, and I know that my current pay won't be able to cover it. So I come up with an ingenious idea of how to actually cover that need. That is a gig, basically. So we have different reasons why we come up with gigs to, probably fund our lifestyle, or just because we want that flexibility. So I think that is where we should actually start off from, of my own point. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you've mentioned flexibility.
Yes.
As much as gig workers have that flexibility, what do you think about the fact that that flexibility can also be a disadvantage in the sense that you may not get a gig every month? There can be a gap. So when there is that gap, is it not better for you to just focus on your 9 to 5 and collect your salary every month instead of hoping that maybe I'll get one gig this month?
So this is it. We have to balance these things. So the truth about gigs is this. You need to have, if you're going to have that constant cash flow from your gig, that means you probably have a skill that is in high demand, and you have very few people that can actually meet what you can produce. So yes, we know that at that point in time, You have some form of monopoly there. But where you are, let's look like Uber. Uber drivers could be considered as gig workers in today's parlance, basically. So just imagine, you know that you have over 2,000 people doing the same thing that you're doing. You know that at the end of the day, you do not have any control over the rates that are being driven, because at the end of the day, Uber drives that. Then you also know that, okay, when it comes to customer satisfaction, you have particular rates that are applied. If you go below a 4.6, 4.7, you could be deactivated. Those are things that you have to consider into going into a gig. You have to look at, okay, how valuable am I in this very large market? Because you have a large pool of people who are practically doing the same thing you are doing. Could it be, web developers, data analysts? Like I said, you need to know that you are that valuable to be able to command a constant stream. Where you know you're unable to gather a constant stream, yes, it is advisable to have, that, what do you call it again? Platform where you can get your constant pay, your 9 to 5, whatever it is. It has to be constant for you. But like we said earlier on, it's all about value.
Okay. So Sherifat, I would like to ask, with this at the back of your mind, what he has said at the back of your mind, do you now think that if let's say I'm your employer,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you are splitting my time between my office and your gig, do you think that is something that actually reduces your productivity? Do you think that it affects your productivity at your day job?
Okay, so the way I'll look at it is the two, I don't want to call them two gigs. The normal 9 to 5 and the gig serve two different purposes. So I'll look at it as the 9 to 5. Most cases, when you have a 9 to 5 and you have a gig, is because the 9 to 5 is not your passion. So I'd assume that the gig is not your passion. So you have a 9 to 5 that gives you a steady income stream. And you have the gig where you're using it as a platform to possibly test your ideas as an entrepreneur, build experience in that particular gig sector, so to speak. So you strike a balance in your mind. If you let your 9 to 5 drop, you lose that income stream. And you need some of that income stream to keep that gig afloat. Because obviously you're starting that gig small. You're probably at that point is not generating any income for you. So you're the one putting in all of your equity, so to speak, and you're using it probably using it to service family and friends that are not paying you. So you'd have to strike that balance of continue to work hard at your 9 to 5 so that you can get money from it to be able to fuel your gig. And when you have pushed your gig to that point where you think, oh, I can survive on this on my own, then you can decide to let go of your 9 to 5 if you choose to. But I feel it would be a disservice as a human being to let your 9 to 5 suffer because of your gig. Because you owe that, it's like just common courtesy really. You owe that 9 to 5, that responsibility to be responsible enough. You're accountable for that job. So you have to give it your best. Then also give your gig your best. So if it means you're doing 5 hours of sleep, but you have to be at your 9 to 5, top and sharp and giving it your best.
What of a case where the gig pays me more than my 9 to 5? What if my gig is paying me dollar rates fluctuate every day? Okay. So by the time maybe December now, dollar can be one crazy amount, and my salary is maybe 300K. Okay. Then God now bless me. I'll now collect one gig of $2,000 or $3,000, and I take it 1 month. The next month I get a similar gig of the same amount. Where would I now find the strength to draw that balance from when I'm earning 3 times my monthly income from one gig?
Okay. So I'll look at it from, what are your priorities? Is your goal in life to make $2,000 from the gig that would probably, okay, first off, how constant is this $2,000? Is your priority to save the $2,000 for something better? And how much is I don't want to say value you are getting from the 9 to 5, because it also depends on how much you enjoy your 9 to 5. But if you are sure that this $2,000 I'm getting from this my gig, I would be getting it constantly for the next 1.5 years. So I can build some sort of investment nest, so to speak. But if you get swayed by, man, I saw $2,000 this month, tomorrow $2,000. Next, I'm going to go and buy Adidas Sambalo because this one, there's no way around it. So it depends on what your priorities are. Are you going to be swayed by, I know $1,000 or $2,000 is a lot of money now, but are you going to be swayed by that? You have to set your priorities and have a plan. What's the strategy? Do you plan to run this gig for the next 1 year and you get $24,000 at the end of the year? Would that be enough? Because if you're not sure of that constant stream of those dollars for that gig, I beg, don't let go of your 9 to 5. It's the, what's the word now? That's what's holding your feet firm to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. That's the safety net. Yes.
So you have to find a balance, right? And like we said, freelancing is not, it's not always guaranteed. There is no way it's written that you must get a gig every month. It is not a law, and nobody will hold Upwork or Fiverr for not giving you a gig in a month, right? So if you get $2,000 this month, and the next time you see $2,000 is in the next 5 months, how would you actually survive if you do not have a 9 to 5? $2,000 sounds like a lot of money, but when you spread that money in 5 months, you see that you will be hungry. You will be very, very hungry by the time before you get your next gig. Okay. So let's go straight to another question, which is something that I had asked earlier. So Oluwaseun asked earlier about entrepreneurship. So how do you think the gig worker culture is contributing to entrepreneurship? Do you think it's growing it, or do you think it's defeating entrepreneurship?
So basically, we'll say it's actually growing the growth of entrepreneurship. Yes, because we know that a lot of us as young individuals, we're looking at a situation whereby we want to be flexible, we want to be independent, so to speak. And I think most of us actually go into this not understanding what it actually entails. Yes, you could start off being an entrepreneur, but it means you learning, should I put it, the hard way, so to speak. There's actually nothing wrong with it. Some people are actually cut out for it. At the same time, you could actually go into paid employment, understanding what businesses are all about. Then you're able to segue into whatever your passion or what your future gig might actually be. Because there are a lot of things that need to be considered if you want to be an entrepreneur. You're going to be responsible for your marketing. You're going to be responsible for your own benefits. It takes a lot actually doing that. Yes, we have a lot of platforms like Fiverr and all. They handle all those things for you. But at the end of the day, there are a lot of hidden charges, so to speak, that at the end of the day, you'll find out whatever it is that you realize is quite minimal. And the truth, we're talking about $2,000, and people earning $2,000. How many people actually earn as much? Very, very, very few people. At least I know that very, very few people do that, because like I mentioned earlier on, you must actually have that particular skill that will stand you out to earn that much, because it's a competition, just like in the corporate world, it's a competition. So I could come out saying I'm offering my skills at probably $500. I have somebody else who says, you know what, I can do it at $400. Somebody will come out and say, I will do it at $200. At the end of the day, whoever is willing to pay will go for the cheapest option, unless I've been able to build up some form of cachet whereby I have, user stories, basically stating that, okay, this is the level of work Sheon is able to churn out. You know what? You can go with him. Other than that, believe you me, it's a dog-eat-dog world, kind of. So we have to be careful, or rather mindful, of what we tend to, push out there if we want to be entrepreneurs. It's all about value, once again. Like I'm talking about, once you're able to, drive a certain level of value, you're certain that, yes, quite a number of people will pursue you. It's not going to be constant. It's going to be something you're going to have to build up over time to be able to sustain you. So basically, yes, the gig economy helps in building the entrepreneurs, but it's something that, future entrepreneurs need to consider before actually delving into it.
I'll throw the same question to Sherifat. Do you think the gig economy is building or depleting entrepreneurship?
Depleting or building? I would say it's encouraging it, or it's increasing it, so to speak. So I would talk now about budding entrepreneurs. I would say entrepreneurs that are thinking, should I do this? Should I go into this? For me, I think it gives you, we had talked about this earlier. I think I would say it gives you a blank canvas. It gives you a blank canvas wherein you have the opportunity to test your ideas. You can build your network. You can build your clients. It gives you build resilience. You can gain experience because say for instance, I use the example of you like to do event planning or event decoration and you get a gig with one of the top event managers and you start to understand the business from the ground up. So it's on the one hand, you're also able to throw out ideas to your boss so that you see, with this my idea, is it workable? You get a gig with this person, you get with another person, still in that same sector, but throughout all of that, you're able to build your skill sets, you're able to build your customer base, so to speak, and your network, or build your portfolio as it is. So I will say, yes, it is encouraging. It's like he cited the example of the Uber driver. I know people that have regular 9 to 5 jobs, but once they stop working at 5 or 4 o'clock, they use their car to try and ferry people around and just earn some money. And all of that is contributing to the gig economy. We have bankers that have stores that sell shoes and clothes. I wish I did that actually. And I made more money. So we have bankers that have that. So I think it is. I actually think it's good. I think it's, like you said, flexibility. It gives that flexibility. It also makes you more resilient and makes it easy for you to adapt to different market scenarios. So market scenarios 9 to 5, but also the dynamic market scenarios that we're faced with on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, that's a wonderful answer. Something that is concerning to me is, from experience, I've seen that a lot of people, because they're searching for gigs, they pick courses like, I don't know what to use to describe it, but to see somebody that is doing 10 courses, you will just go and sign up for 10 courses. Maybe I'm sure people can relate to what I'm saying. I'm not you can relate to what I'm saying because I did at some point. You just go and start starting plenty courses that you will not finish. And even if you finish it, what have you learned? When you are doing 10 different courses, you are learning web development, you are learning marketing, you are learning what's the name of this other thing? Product design. You are learning project management. All these things, different. You want to learn 10 courses at once because you want to go and put yourself on Fiverr or Upwork and learn and then earn $2,000. So how do you think this gig economy, how do you think it's contributing to the jack of all trades, master of none syndrome?
That's for me.
For both of you.
Okay. Let me cite my own personal experience. So when we started off banking, right, we hadn't had the advent of digital platforms. So as things progressed, it made me go into project management. I did the PMP certification because I was fascinated by the developments that were going on. Over time, I did my MBA with a focus on product management, which also led me to do other agile courses within that particular field. Now, what I was able to do, because I knew that, okay, this is where the banking industry is going to, and in the future, where I want this where I can place myself at a vantage position to play that particular role, probably the product management role. What I did was that, okay, I took gigs with some consultancy companies that went to product management so that I could prepare myself for such roles. Believe you me, almost every product management role in Sterling Bank I've applied. Not because basically due to my grade, I couldn't get this role. But at the same time, I find myself being able to give suggestions to the product team based on the knowledge that I have acquired over time. Not just theoretically, just because I was able to do certain gigs, I could see things from different positions. Like, guys, why can't we do this? I send messages to the chief product officer, boss, concerning Sterling Pro. These are things that we can do, or speak to guys in the team. That is another area which we can look at gigs. Probably you know that, okay, at a future date, I could want to, segue into this role. It's still within the same industry, within the same organization, but you are preparing yourself so that when such opportunities come around, you're able to fit in.
So for people like me that we've taken 10 courses, want to be, there was a tweet I saw that the lady said that she just finished law school, but she applied for head of legal. That's the type of energy that some of us are using to take courses. You just go, you go and take one Google certification, and you go and apply for CTO at Google because of you taking one certification. So I think what Oluwaseun has told us is that you need to pick a struggle.
Yes.
Pick one thing. Don't do 15 courses. You cannot do 15. You cannot be 15. You can't do 15 courses.
No, you can't.
Even if you want to have a gig, let it be related
to what you're doing.
So that you don't find your mind scattered. You don't find yourself burnt out, and you don't find yourself thinking that is it that I don't know anything? Why is it that nobody's calling me for this show? Meanwhile, you have 15 certifications in 15 different courses. So it's difficult for somebody to now come and meet you and say, okay, come and do this role. What will now happen to your 14 other certifications that you've used your time to take? You have to make sure that you have focus. Think about what you want to do, right? When you've thought about what you want to do, then you can now go into taking those courses, not just because it's available. Take courses that will be helpful to growing yourself, and courses that you can offer value at. Not everybody cannot be good at everything. So just pick a struggle, face it head on, and simplify it for yourself. I think that's what I drew from his analogy, because he spoke about how he started product management and the certification he got in product management, and using that to build, and even now uses his knowledge and his expertise actually in product management to even help out within the bank.
Yes, because the nexus in between product management and relationship management, because we deal with customers. So there are certain questions that I can ask customers because I'm in the forefront. I can let the guys back office know that this is what our people are actually thinking. So let's go back. Let's see how we can tweak it. So that's where they come together. They're interrelated.
Yeah. So it's like relationship management is the front end.
Yes.
Product is the
back end. Yes.
So it's all
the capacity. Yes.
Thing.
Yes.
Do you agree with that, Sherifat? Do you think people should take as many shots? They should do all the courses they can do and they just try their luck, or do you think they should pick one thing and do?
So what I would say to that is, please know thyself. As in, you have to know what you want. It doesn't mean that what you want is cast in stone, and you can't modify it along the way. But you need to know what it is. What is it that drives you? What is it that you want? I would say it in plain English. Some people are born to be 9-to-5ers. We can't take it away from them.
Definitely.
I have a friend that is an architect. There is nothing in this world she has not sold. When she sells it, she doesn't, either she eats the profits and the principal amounts, or people owe her for months and they don't pay. But she did it constantly for like 10 years before she started and realized it's as if my umbilical cord or my placenta was put in a 9-to-5 job. So she's stuck to it. So we need to understand, just know thyself, know what works for you. There are some people that are not 9-to-5ers. There are some people that are born entrepreneurs. They can sell water to the river if that exists. So there are people that is their passion. So it will start with what is it that you want to do, and build your competence around it. If it's entrepreneurship, like he said, if it's a gig thing, you can actually fit it into your 9-to-5, like you were talking about, applying for jobs in consultancy firms. So you can actually make a gig work, fit into your regular 9-to-5, if that is possible. And if it isn't, if it's a 9-to-5 that would work for you, stick to a 9. I don't think we shouldn't throw 9-to-5 to the dogs. So it has brought me here. So I think we should, if 9 to 5 is your bread and, not, I don't want to say bread and butter. If 9 to 5 is what keeps you alive, some people live to wake up in the morning. I know, fine, not live, but so some people enjoy doing the 9 to 5 trail. And if that's what's your thing, please do it. And if it's entrepreneurship, build competence. Don't be scattered and be doing 14 courses. Come on. So just pick a struggle. If it is content creation you want to do, what are the things you need? What are the courses you need to do that will make you competent in that particular sector, so to speak? So build competence around it. Build your portfolio around it. That's what I'd say. Okay, since Sherifat is not happy with my 15 courses, I'll still take all of them. Nobody can stop me. Okay. So now that it's pretty much established that a lot of people take gigs outside of their 9 to 5 for varying reasons. Either they need the money, or sincerely they just want to build a portfolio because that's something that is important. If you want to pivot, for instance, if you are in marketing and you want to pivot to web design, and you've gone and you've learned, you've taken the courses, you've learned, you've done an internship, and you want to build some experience, you can't now quit your 9 to 5 because I'm not interested in doing this marketing again, or I want to do web design. You don't have a job yet. So you are freelancing on Upwork, you're freelancing on Fiverr, just to get some gigs that they may not be very financially rewarding, but it will help you to exercise what you've already learned. Mm-hmm. So do you think that at various places of work, employers should be more considerate and more open to the fact that people in 9 to 5 are also trying to hustle their individual lives, maybe trying to figure it out in terms of passion, or even in terms of they just need the extra money? Do you think it's something that employers should consider, right? Maybe in terms of timing, if they say 9 to 5, let it actually be 9 to 5 so that they have the remaining hours of the day? Or do you think people should commit to their 9 to 5, and however long it takes, if that your 9 to 5 will end at 9 p.m., provided that is what your employer requires of you to get the work done, then you should be able to sacrifice that time? Do you think it's something employers should consider, or do you think it's selfish?
So for me, this is it. What is your 9 to 5 contributing to your current position? I don't believe you should cheat your 9 to 5 because it's a particular value they are passing on to you because of that, stipulated time. Let's stick to 9 to 5. So what you can always do is to find a way around it. But like Sherifat had mentioned earlier on, you really can't play both parts because one will always suffer. So if you know your 9 to 5 sustains you, and there are also, possibilities of growth in the 9 to 5, give it all you have. If it's something you're really passionate about, pursuing, there's always a leeway for you to pursue that other passion. And as you grow at it, you know the possibilities that are inherent in it. And if you know that, okay, I might need to put my 9 to 5 aside to concentrate on it, you can go ahead. But I don't think it's the onus falls on the, employer to say, you know what, go ahead and cheat. It's like being in a relationship, asking you, you know what, you can go out and see other guys while we're together. Nah, it's not. Yes. Yeah.
Of course, it's a man that will start. Men will always be active. Women will be silent.
No. So really, no, the onus is not on the employer. You as the employee, knowing that, this is what I want to strive at. I will see that, okay, I created the time to grow that skill in that other area. And when I feel, I think I'm ready to go. You can't cheat your employer. It's not even ethical in any way, the way I see it now.
Sherifat, what do you think?
So I would say that I would agree with you on that. But I would also say that it's your passion. You're the one that has this passion. You're the one that is carrying the passion into you. So you're the one that has to work at nurturing the passion.
Yeah.
Your employer is not the one that is passionate about being a caterer. It is you that is the staff that has the passion for cooking, that has to decide, I would leave my job at 5 p.m., go to Oyibo at 6 to buy whatever it is I need to prepare and cook food for people, sleep at 12 midnight, but you have to be at your desk at 9 because the agreement you signed is 9. You didn't tell your employer that, oh guys, I'm taking this job. I will be cooking food by the side, so I'll not be coming to work on time. So I think that you should be able to, it's your passion. Something has to give. If it's your time that gives, well, don't shortchange your employer because you have some side gig. And if you've been able to nurture your side gig to the point that it can now sustain you, you would do your 9 to 5 the honors of saying, okay, I think I can let this go now and face my gig squarely. That's my opinion.
Okay. There's a question that I'm sure we'll still get that question from the crowd at the end of the day.
Okay.
But I just have to ask. I'd asked something like this before, but I'll just be more outright and say, do you think stuff like cryptocurrency and what's the name of this one that they use? Thank you. Forex, stuff like that. Do you think those count as gigs, or do you think they're just something people use to waste their time? Do you think there's any value in driving cryptocurrency, forex, all these I don't know what they're called, but pretty much that line of work.
Okay.
So do you think this is something that young people are encouraged or should be encouraged to partake in, or do you think that they count as gigs? How exactly would you put those fields of work? How exactly would you classify them?
Okay, what bucket would, okay, so to a certain extent they are financial services.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll not look at it as are they moral, are they ethical? So we go past that. They would also ask, how much are you making from this ethical and moral financial service that you're providing? Is it enough to sustain you, or would you rather also have a 9 to 5 that keeps you going on a day-to-day while you have this by the side? So like I said before, it all depends on what is it you want to do. Do you want to face this other financial services as it is? Whether or not it is paying you, you want to stick at it. There's doggedness and there's foolishness. So how long are you going to stick at it if it is not paying enough for you? Would you rather also try something else and see how much value you can get from that? So it depends on your priorities. Is your priority to understand the financial market, or is your priority income driven? If your priority is income driven and this Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is not fulfilling that need and you are keeping at it, it is not you are being dogged. It is you are being foolish, because you're now putting that financial burden on possibly someone else while you are going and you're trying to make this work. You give yourself a plan. You say, okay, I'll try this out for the next 3-6 months. If I'm not able to get the desired value to a certain extent, I will try something else. Maybe you now start to give out your CVs and try to get a regular 9-to-5 job. But if it is able to sustain you and it's able to sustain you on the long run, so far it's moral and ethical. Keep at it.
Minus being moral and ethical, it's also a very fragile market, and it's also something that you can just wake up one day and the value of the coin is zero.
Mm-hmm.
Or they will tell you life is a gamble. I know a couple of people that pay me, they'll say life is a gamble. That you have to take the bull by the horns and just keep at it. So a lot of people thrive on living on the edge. So if that is your thing and you like the excitement of today it's here, tomorrow it's not, but you know that tomorrow it is not, there's still something you can fall back on, it's a good mantra to have.
I feel like it's not a good gamble because you're living in Nigeria.
No, that's why I said when today it works, tomorrow it doesn't. The days where it doesn't, you have something to fall back on. So you have to have a safety net.
Definitely.
So if you haven't built yourself up to that extent, then don't live on the edge, because you don't commit suicide.
There's no fun living on the edge. Where
There's really no fun. So basically, for me,
Yeah.
I know quite a number of people who actually deal in it, but they just put a fraction of their income
By
because
design.
they also believe that, okay, sometime in the future, because there's a lot of propaganda news out there, people come out to say, okay, I made a lot of money from this. They are not so sure, but they're able to put a fraction of what they earn to just see. So my friends come to tell me, you know what, Ashio, I don't earn so on this NXP, different names. I'm really not interested. But you find out that you have some young individuals, they have some form of seed nest, and they put all that they have into it, not really understanding what the market entails, and they lose all what they have. So it boils down to what Sherifat said. You are not being dogged, you're just being foolish. Because if you put all that you have, how are you going to sustain yourself in the meanwhile, waiting for your investments to mature? So at the end of the day, it's expected that, okay, you have something that you are constantly earning while you are looking at your so-called crypto investments. So you're also learning on a daily basis. And if you feel it's something you've properly understood, why not go into it?
Okay, I think that's fair enough.
Yeah.
It's pretty apt. It's
Yeah.
very apt. So I'll ask you this as a just in a hypothetical way. If you were an employer, an entrepreneur, you're just starting a business, and you want to build your staff strength, would you go for a gig worker or would you go for a full-time staff?
So it's two ways. Ethically, yes. No, let's not go on that ground. Let's not go on ethics. So if I were to go for gig workers, it will be in a situation whereby I will be fair to them. Fair in the sense because I know that most gig contracts, there are really no, there's really nothing tying you to them. It's just on a project basis. Let's put it that way. Do this and you get paid, But at the same time, you have to look at a situation whereby, okay, if I get good value from this gig worker, and I'm able to engage them on further work, I'll look at the situation whereby, we come together, have a discussion and say, okay, what are your values? These are my own values. How can we collaborate? Because that's the whole essence of going into business. You're actually going into business to create value. So if you actually come into tandem with like minds, you have to see how you guys can best work together so that at the end of the day, there's a consistency in what you are driving. That way, you know that at this point in time, there's going to be more commitment from my own part to that particular individual so that we can grow something much larger. But believe you me, if I'm not going to get value from you based on our initial interactions, I'll let you go. It's a function of knowing that, okay, this is what I'm getting from this individual. If you get good service from someone, even in our line of business, once you know that, okay, I keep on engaging these guys on a consistent basis, they're able to deliver, there's no way that relationship is being built over time and you want something more stable. Yeah.
So I will think that for me to be a blend of both. So there are certain sectors now that are characterized with gig workers, IT, technology, and all of that. So they would rather take project-based jobs, they would rather take temporary jobs and all of that. While there are also some aspects of your business that needs to be driven by people that you would hopefully have a long-term relationship with. There are people you would want to build the culture of your organization together. You would want to have the same vision. You would want people that would buy into your vision and you would grow that vision together. And you might not really get that with a gig worker. A gig worker just would work for you, possibly project-based or for some creative and moves on to the next. But you would need people that are your tribe, so to speak, to build your business with you. So it will be a blend of both. It will be a blend of gig workers and regular 9-to-5 staffers.
Okay, so both 9-to-5ers and gig workers, they all have their place in
workforce. Yeah.
They all have the value that they are rendering and the services that we need both 9-to-5 and gig workers for. We've come to pretty much the end of this panel session, but we're going to take some questions first so that Sherifat and Oluwaseun can answer them for us. Grace will come with the questions shortly.
Okay, so we have a couple of questions here. The first one is, what are the benefits of entrepreneurship instead of being a gig worker, from Ikhazs-Yakubu?
What are the benefits?
Entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Instead of being a gig worker.
Okay.
From Ikhazs-Yakubu.
Okay, so like I had said before that gig work or the gig economy gives you the platform to test your ideas and gain experience. But if you are so sure of the value you're offering, you're so sure of your business idea, so to speak, that you would rather go the long haul with it. All well and good, but there also has to be a plan. So you would start off small. You would build your system. You would have strategies in place of how you would want to scale as it is. Who are your networks that you want to start with? What is your level of understanding of the business? Who do you want to collaborate to ensure that you're able? Who do you want to collaborate with to ensure that you're able to drive this business? There's nothing that says that for you to be an entrepreneur, you first of all have to start as a gig worker. If you have so much faith in what you're doing or the idea or the service you want to offer, all well and good. Go all in and start off as an entrepreneur.
Okay, for me, I would say in the actual balance, right, gig workers are more or less task-oriented. It's just like guns for hire, so to speak. So I'm into data analysis. I'm looking out for anybody that has any job that pertains to that. I do it, I'm out, I get paid, that's it. Entrepreneurs, more or less, are individuals who have a particular vision. There's a value they want to actually, let's say, put out into the world, and they know that, okay, over time, this is how we want to grow this, and I'm going to have a group of people come up with me until we grow this vision. Gig workers are more or less, like I said, just guns for hire. This is what I want to do because I know that I can make some form of money from this particular job. I want my flexibility. I want my independence. Yes, you also get that from being entrepreneurs, but entrepreneurs, I would say, bear a larger burden, so to speak, because there's an actual goal at the end.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So the next question is, what are the impact of gig work on innovation? From Emery.
Impact of gig work on innovation. So I would say that it drives it, because I'll look at it from the point of view of, like he said, okay, or like we have all said, that gig work is most times project-based. So if you don't have short-term staffers that would help you drive some innovative idea, first of all, it cuts down your operational expenses.
Yeah.
So you're able to have people on a short-term basis walk through, brainstorm through an idea, or bring to birth an innovative solution. So yes, it does make the creative process of an innovation easier. It makes that creative process workable, with the fact that you don't have to have people that would be with you 9 to 5. You can have a crop of 10 different people doing 10 different things just in ensuring that innovation comes to bear.
Yeah, okay. So basically, just like she said, you want a situation whereby you have individuals you can bounce ideas off. Because at the end of the day, you want a situation whereby people are able to bring in different perspectives. It's all about collaboration. So where you have individuals who have a certain skill set and they're able to add to whatever you are driving at, it really helps and improves your innovation.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is, what offerings does Serling Bank have for gig workers? Bearing in mind that gig workers try to avoid taxes.
Okay, so I don't know what the remuneration package is like for gig workers, but I know that because that's why I said in IT, I know that we have quite a number of members of staff in IT that are employed on a project basis. I know that there are also a number of people in the project team that are employed on a contractual basis. Even when you go to our website, there's something called Gigits when you go to the Serling Bank website. So yes, there are opportunities for gig workers in Serling Bank, and we all know that Serling Bank is future forward, and that is the trend now. So yes, we're deep into it.
Yeah. So
that's why I don't know what the remuneration is like. That would have to be HR. So next time, do something from HR.
So basically, as a bank, I know that we have some programs like the hackathons that we do where people are able to showcase their skills. And I know where you're able to stand out, there's something in place for you. So that's basically it.
Okay, so the next question is, are there specific strategies or ecosystem you can suggest to a budding gig worker? Are there specific strategies or ecosystem you can suggest to a budding gig worker?
Okay, so if you are a budding gig worker, I would ask, what's your passion? I would ask, what's that thing that you like to do on the one hand. On the other hand, I would also ask, what is this purpose of your gig work? What need do you want to use it to fulfill? Is it monetary? Are you trying to get gig work so you can have additional income? So you really do not care what sector it is. Or are you using it to drive a creative process? Are you using it as a board for you to bounce off your entrepreneurial ideas off? So if it is the first one, I would say the sector I would propose would be something that has to do with what you're passionate about. If you tell me what you're passionate about, then perhaps I'll be able to. But if it is just income driven, 1,001 of them. There's Uber. There's which other one? I know there's Airbnb as well. There's Airbnb.
Yes. You have Fiverr. So Fiverr is basically for guys that are more
and I know there are also there are companies, there are small companies that are coming up that would just that don't take 14 courses, but there are small businesses. There are small businesses that are coming up that are looking for web designers, web programmers, people that are looking for graphic designers, there are people that are looking for the almighty content creation. There are people that would also take you on as a virtual assistant.
Yes.
So you handle customer care work as well. There are people that want you to showcase and sell their products, you earn a commission from it. So depending on what kind of income stream you're looking at, is it commission? Obviously, it will be commission based anyway, but depending on what it is you're passionate about.
So for me, regardless of whatever the reason might be, how would you actually stand out? Because like I mentioned earlier, it's a dog-eat-dog world. So even if you have the best of skills, you have the best out there, how would you price yourself in such a way that you're able to garner that particular value? Because somebody out there who is offering less than you will also go out to say, you know what, I will play this part at a cheaper role. So how would you actually survive in that market? Because at the end of the day, you actually don't have any launch pad. So there has to be something about you that people will be willing to pay that actual price so that you do not shortchange yourself.
So have a USP, have a unique selling point, have something that differentiates you from the regular content creator. Maybe it is some, I don't know, it could be maybe the way you dress or a certain slogan that you use at the end of everything that you're selling, just something that makes you stand out from the rest.
It can be like Ashaka, you can come and be helping everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the last question. I'm interested in practicing the banking industry. What do you think the future holds for the banking sector in Nigeria in terms of career growth, competition, and job sustainability? Yes.
Okay. So I would say that the banking industry has progressed, has evolved. That's the word. The banking industry has evolved. When I started off in banking, there were 89 banks. There was consolidation. There was consolidation in 2006 with Soludo, and that whittled it down to about 25.
Yeah.
And when I started, there were traditional roles. Either you are a branch manager. And once you're a branch manager, that's the end, as in you are the big boss.
Yeah.
So that you're a branch manager, you're a teller, your operations, your credit management, your credit risk, your risk management. But now you have a lot of emerging roles. You have people that are in data analytics. You have people that are in digital banking. You have people that are in project management. You have different aspects. So I would say that whatever it is that is your forte into, I would say when you're coming into banking, have an open mind. One, or you could say you are targeting, I want to be a data analyst. If that is what you want to do, then once you get into banking, you have to build up yourself along that competence. You have to build competence in that line for you to be able to pivot, so to speak. And if you say competition, so obviously everyone knows that the greatest competitor for banks are the fintechs, but there's also collaboration amongst the fintechs and the banks. There are some not opportunities, there are some services that the fintechs are not able to provide now, which is what brings that point of collaboration for both parties. And it's an evolving thing. It evolves. Like now we have recapitalization moving on to 200 million by 2026. Right. So it means the opportunities are endless. You can't take away traditional banking from certain sectors. You can't take away traditional banking from the corporate world, so blue chip companies, so to speak. While fintech does have a part to play, financial inclusion, retail, and all of that, you also cannot take out you can't take it out of the banks that you can't take it out of the whole scenario that banks are. It's not like they are an extinct. So it might be the structure of it that might be extinct. We might not now traditionally have brick and mortar banks eventually, but it's going to be an evolution that would take us in that we will take in our stride and just move ahead with it.
So for me, what I'll add, you need to be passionate about people, because at the end of the day, you're going to have to work with people. You're going to be passionate about what those businesses that are driven by people, because you're going to have to learn to listen to them. You're going to need to understand their problems so you can prefer the right solutions. You're going to need to collaborate with people across sectors, across different divisions within the banking industry or your own organization, so that at the end of the day, you're able to come up with the right products to sell out there. So you just have to be ready to also drive yourself as an individual, knowing that there are instances where you will fail, but you have to fail forward, because you're going to learn from those mistakes and drive yourself and your organization at the same time.
This has been a wonderful session. Please, a round of applause for our panelists. A round of applause. Both of them made sure that they answered the questions and they answered it to the T, telling you very honestly and very practically how things will go. Something that I've definitely taken out of this is value. You must bring value to the table. Another thing that I've taken out of this is that be open-minded. There is so much in the world that you can't say for sure that this is where I will be forever. There's so much. The world is growing and evolving. Things, even that thing that you are passionate about, is evolving into something else. Right? There was a point where customer service was just customer service, where you just take complaints and all of that. But now there's actually customer success, right? There are people that literally, they are, every Christmas, all they think about is customer. How are we going to please customers this year? How are we going to appreciate the customers for what they've done? So much growth and evolution takes place, and even minus that, you have to make sure that you are borrowing as many or as much knowledge from all the different sectors to make yourself stand out, to make yourself the person that they can point at. If we're looking for somebody that does X and X, let them call your name immediately, that this is the person that can execute this role efficiently and properly. Whether you are doing it as a gig, whether you are doing it as a 9 to 5, whether you are an entrepreneur, whatever it is, just make sure that you hone your skill to the point where you are excellent at it, and people will find you, people will look for you. You will not need to ask, is Serling Bank gig worker, that they tax exempt. You'll not be looking for tax exemption. You will be the one that will come and be begging you, in fact, pretty much. There are people, honestly, when you're on LinkedIn, for instance, you see people trying to poach you from your work.
Yeah.
People see your work. They see what you're doing. They go through your LinkedIn from your very first role as graduate trainee or whatever first role to maybe an intern to your current role, and they want you in their company. This is somebody's work. Somebody in an organization goes there.
Oh, they're headhunters.
Yeah, headhunters.
And they just look for people that they're going to take from one business to another. And how you are going to appeal to people like that is to make sure that you are always adding value. You are always producing something that is unique. Always have a unique selling point. Your USP is clear. It's not under any dispute. We've come to the end of this panel session. The manager of Cafe One Unilag, Brian, is going to take the final remarks for today. Thank you guys so much. It was so fun moderating this session.
For having us.
Brian.
My name is Brian, and of course, I'm managed Cafe One. The first one, I want to just say thank you to Oluwaseun and Sherifat. We've been talking all the way back, and we kind of plan for the event and all of that, sending deals and all of that. So thank you so much for sharing your experience. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Thank you for basically just coming to, pour out inspirational, quotes and stories back in, and basically sharing tips that the young minds can take and run with and just get good results out here in career path and entrepreneurship and all. So thank you so much for again. Thank you for sharing your experiences with your mind here. And to our people that are already having some conversation. Basically, thank you for coming. Thank you for giving some time for mental meetup. I want to just say that mental meetup is something that we want to be doing on a continuous basis. So every single month we will have that. We'll bring in speakers with in-depth knowledge about topics, and we just keep sharing the experiences, and just like an inspirational movement for you. So you just come in, take actionable tips and advice from mentors, just like you're seeing here, and you just run with them. So it's going to be something. So I'm saying, expect more to come in the future. Expect more mentorship sessions. Expect more engaging topics. Expect more topics that are relevant, in the career path, in entrepreneurship, and so thank you so much for coming for Mentor Meetup 2.0. And I would say anticipate Mentor Meetup 3.0. Even after students review and all of that. Let's have a good weekend. Let's have a good time. Enjoy a great weekend. And again, thank you, Oluwaseun.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And thank you, guys.